Hi everyone, it's Sean from Pulse Markets here this morning. I've got Mike Hudson, the Managing Director of Southern Cross Gold with me today. They're looking at starting trading on the ASX this morning. And just want to say welcome, Mike, and congratulations.
Thanks, Sean, and thank you, and thanks to everybody who's been behind us to bring us to this point. It really is a very exciting day. We've been working towards this, you and I, over the last year. We've raised close to 12 million capital now with the Pre and IPO and the IPO together over the last 3 months. We've got a very exciting discovery that we haven't stopped drilling during the IPO process. We've got a great book that we can talk a little bit about, and it's all guns blazing.
That's really good to hear. Who invested through this process?
We were pretty well supported. First of all, we bought a number of key institutions onto the stock. Probably the most recognised listed resource fund, Lowell Resource Fund, invested both in the Pre and the IPO, and are our second major shareholder after Mawson, which is the vendor of the assets, who is escrowed for 2 years, I should say. 60% of the stock is escrowed. The other key investor was a fund out of Germany, Deutsche Rostoff, who have supported me in the past and are one of the key investors in the space globally. Directors invested hundreds of thousands of dollars in the IPO, and that included me. So we're backing ourselves here. Some of our key suppliers also invested. We've got the drilling company who paid hard dollars to become one of the top 10 shareholders. Now, they obviously know the business and are very sophisticated, and they like what they see from Sunday Creek. And you were a huge part of it, Baker Young were, in terms of getting a huge spread. We got over 500 shareholders, I know, through the Pre and the IPO to the table. So we've all worked very hard, you especially, to bring this to the point where it is today.
I must say it was a very enjoyable project for the last 12 months, and it hasn't finished yet because we're only starting trading today. But one thing I must notice is that you've delivered on everything you've said, and you mentioned a couple of key points there. You've got two big funds that, when you look at other stocks they're in, these guys are long-term holders and they actually add to positions. You've got Mawson, which is a 60% shareholder, which is escrowed for 2 years. The directors are escrowed. I think they're a couple of percent as well. So I know a lot of my investors are longer term as well. So a lot of the stock's very, very tight. We don't really have much of a sell side, I don't think, at this particular point in time, which has been really good.
Yeah, well, it's a good book. The Pre was done at 16 only 3 months ago, so that those investors should be very happy. The IPO came to the table within the time frame, give or take a few days. So we have done everything we said we'd do. We've raised the capital, and now the real challenge in terms of finding more gold and making this one of the key discoveries in the last 100 years in Victoria is what we're aiming to do.
Well, everything you've said you've done so far. And one thing you did mention was that you'd be drilling throughout the IPO. Has that been the case?
Absolutely, absolutely. We've had the drill rig turning continuously through this IPO process. Of course, we couldn't assay, but the drill rig has been turning. So we've drilled something like 11 holes now. We just announced that this morning, close to 2,700 meters of drilling. And those holes are now being sent to the assay lab in an orderly fashion. Of course, we can't go en masse with 3 months of drilling in day one, but we'll put those holes out. So there's going to be this continuous flow of news that will come with drilling. I mean, I was just reviewing some press releases from companies who IPO, and most companies promise they're going to find a drill rig, promise they're going to start drilling soon. We've been drilling. We've got results coming to the table very shortly.
Well, it's rock chipping, geophysics, find a drill rig, get the drill rig there. You're talking some companies have got 6 to 12 months, but Southern Cross, you've said 11 holes, which have got to be assayed. So they'll go to the lab. So and you're still drilling whilst that's going to lab. So we should have constant news flow indefinitely, realistically.
I don't see the drill rig stopping this year. In fact, if we do our job properly, you'll see more drill rigs come to the table. We also announced that we're soon to close on the freehold land, the 300 acres above Sunday Creek, that will really help control our destiny going forward. We're waiting for FIRB approval, a Foreign Investment Review Board approval, which will come on the 20th of May, we hope, and then we'll close within a week of that approval. So it is all coming together.
That's a pretty good position to be in. Well, everything you've said, Mike, from where we sat in July last year, when we met on Zoom, I think when you were overseas, everything you've said you tried to achieve, you've done. You've brought these assets back from the TSX into Australia. And through that period, thankfully, we've had this gold price that's been edging up, edging up, edging up. With high inflation, generally, that gold price could keep going. What do you make of that with your timing of everything?
Well, I'm in the business of finding gold, Sean. You're in the business of advising people to buy and sell gold and gold-related stocks. But personally, I can say that that I'm happy to have gold in my portfolio in an environment like this, and it's up for you to advise people. That's not my job. But if we find gold, that's going to be the thing that really moves this stock. And if we continue finding gold, more drill holes like we've already got, we've got 8 100-gram meter intersections in less than 10,000 meters of drilling in this deposit. That's a fantastic hit rate for an early stage project, essentially, right? We've got 10 kilometers in, but that's a relatively modest amount of drilling for that strike rate. As we've talked about, 3 100-gram meter hits is a bona fide discovery for the biggest gold company in the world, Newmont. So we've got 8 with a very small amount of drilling. So we're really starting with a very strong base.
And as we just said, you've got 2,700 meters worth of drilling to announce 11 holes. So the chances that some of those intersections where you've already got a lot of results from Sunday Creek, we could keep going.
Let's see what the results have to say. We'll send them to the lab, but we've got high expectations around this project.
And it's good, as we said, we don't have to wait long. Well, listen, Mike, I know I've got to get back to the desk. I've got quite a few buy orders for me personally and a couple of clients to get into the market this morning on Southern Cross. I don't have any sell orders as yet, so I'm hoping, well, I don't know what's going to happen, who's going to sell, but anyway, we'll have to wait and see. But I really want to say thanks for your time. And is there anything else you want to say to our investors before you chip off?
No, I think we are relatively new to the Australian market. I've done this a lot in the Canadian markets. We're very happy to bring these assets back home. As you said, we've done everything we said we'd do in terms of capital raise, in terms of timing, in terms of results and delivery of results. And now it's our challenge to keep doing that. I'd also like to take this opportunity to thank yourself, those at Pulse, those at Baker Young, all the support, all our team, the lawyers, the auditors, and everybody that's involved with an IPO process. It's no small order, so everyone can be very proud of where we've got to, and we look forward validating all that hard work as we go forward over the short to medium term here.
I want to say thanks, Mike. You put together a very good package. I mean, watching Mawson, you've got 1 million ounces in Finland. Let's hope we can find more in Australia.
That's our aim too, Sean. Thanks, mate.
Thank you.